Hey y'all, it's your legal bestie, attorney Simone, and this is another episode of Girl, Is That Legal? Listen, we are just jumping off the live. We were all watching the ASAP Rocky trial, and boy, has it been some tea. So, kind of the gist of where we're at, I think the majority of people put in the chat, if you've been following the ASAP Rocky trial, put in the chat whether you feel like he's guilty or not guilty. Go ahead, drop it on in the chat. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. We want to see you drop it like it's hot. Whether you think he is guilty or not guilty, I'm going to tell you, I think he did it, but I think he should be found not guilty. So remember, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. I think here there's a lot of reasonable doubt with respect. For me, here's the big kicker. So ASAP Rocky is charged with, I'm going to say this in 60 seconds. Don't worry. If you've been watching this, don't feel like I'm going to be jumping up all up in it. I'm not going to make this long. He's charged with shooting at his friend, his former friend, ASAP Rocky. He's charged with aggravated assault with a semi-automatic weapon. Rocky's genius lawyers have the defense of, yeah, there was a gun in his hand because we all saw it on video, but that it was a prop gun. It wasn't a real gun. At this point, with the testimony that I've heard and how unsympathetic the victim really is, I don't care. I don't care. Even if he did shoot at him, I don't care. These are two unlikable people. Actually, I don't even not like Rocky because he hasn't said a word. hasn't been called to the stand. But Relly, oh, he's not likable. I think Relly was shot at. Whether it was a prop gun or a real gun, I don't know. But if you shoot at me with a prop gun, I'm going to be mad. And I'm going to file a civil suit. The issue is I think Relly lied about his knuckle injury. That's what he's pointing to. Lied about that coming from the grazing of the bullet. I think that's not true. And Relly's suing for $30 million, which also makes me feel like he's totally being greedy here. And I don't feel like the punishment fits the crime here, which is 24 years in prison max. So, okay, Easy says guilty, but I as a juror would feel my time was wasted. Yolanda says, I think he's guilty, but I think he should be found guilty. Nursing Game said he's guilty, but the reasonable doubt is mind-boggling. Heather Elliott, not guilty, but he did it. That's why I love y'all. Not guilty, but he did it. That's exactly what I think. Tiffany said, I think not having the prop gun is going to be a real bad look. Yeah. The defense is saying, oh, they don't have it anymore. I feel like if you truly did use a prop gun, that would be the first thing that you would submit in evidence. Exhibit A. Exhibit A. Here we go. So that's where we are at the ASAP Rocky trial. So tomorrow, I don't even remember who's going to be on up for tomorrow. It says, I don't make it. Not guilty from Love Anderson. I beat the shit says, I don't feel a way about either man. I only like Riri. Sunflower says, not guilty. Looks like a money grab. Remember, he is asking for $30 million. The day of the incident, he did not go to the cops. He didn't go to the cops till 2 days later. He didn't go to the hospital or see a doctor until 3 days later. But what he did do same day was return to the scene of the crime and allegedly collected the shell casings that are the sole evidence of it being a real gun. All right, here's what we got. Y'all, next up. We got to talk. Everybody has been sending me the situation with Detroit rapper Dang. I'm going to play this clip. She's basically a big old girl who was denied a ride in an Uber due to the fact that she was so big. Here we go. She's probably about 400 or 500 pounds, something like that. I'm going to play the clip.
I'm too busy getting your car.
This is what the Uber driver is telling her.
Recorded it all. Her Lyft driver pulling up only to turn her down.
I was too big and his tires, something about his tires. I asked him, what do I have to do with your tires?
This happened January
You might break them.
18th. The 29-year-old Detroiter was headed to a Lions watch party, only she never got there.
So you telling me I can't get in the Lyft because I can't fit in your car?
Yeah, you need to call the
What makes you think I can't fit in the car?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The driver told her she needed to request an XL car.
There.
I was embarrassed and I felt some type of way about it, you know.
She's hired a lawyer and is suing Lyft.
From a legal standpoint, it seems like obvious discrimination. The Elliott Larson Act, which is Michigan's Civil Rights Act, specifically protects people from weight discrimination. And the driver here turned down her ride because of her weight.
Deja says this experience has scarred her.
I haven't really left my house since that.
She hopes this lawsuit will change how people treat others of all sizes.
She didn't have to pay for extra for Uber XL.
While Lyft does
You
not
should.
comment on pending litigation, they did
You
say
should.
a statement saying, quote, Lyft unequivocally condemns all forms of discrimination. We believe in a community where everyone is treated with equal respect and mutual kindness. Our community guidelines in terms of service explicitly prohibit harassment or discrimination. Reporting in Detroit, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
Oh, dang.
Well,
All right. Here's the thing. I'd like to start by saying this. Hold on. Let me go back to it. I would like to lead the discussion by saying I love fat people. They are very necessary for my life. Without fat people, I'd never know what restaurant to go to. I don't trust when a skinny person's like, oh, you should go there. It's really good. You have no proof. You have no proof. Show me. You don't even look like you like the food. My grandmother growing up, she would put food on my plate. My Creole granny from New Orleans, she put food on the plate. And I'd say, oh, my mom, it's so good. It's so delicious. She said, Show me and plop some more food on my plate. Okay. All right. The thing about big people, without that, we never know what restaurants to go to. There is that, right? And other things. Now, however, what I do want to say here is that we all know on planes, many airlines make you buy more than one seat for the reason that your weight should not, if you want to be big, that's fine. And, but your weight should not increase for the passenger next to you and in turn, like if I buy a whole seat, but because of your weight, I'm only able to use half of my seat. Well, that's not fair to me because I paid full price, right? So that's why some airlines do it. Here's what's interesting in this case. Boy, this girl, Deja, let me tell you something. You are one of Jesus's favorites. You are blessed and highly favored. Here's why. There are only 2 states in the nation that protect obesity, and you had this experience in one of them. So we're going to talk about the law, why the law protects her, but also why it's not quite cut and dry. So there are 2 states in America that protect fat people from being fat or from being denied public accommodations is what it's called. That's Washington State and Michigan. In Michigan, as the attorney said in the clip, yes, they are protected from civil rights violations. So in the same way, you cannot be fired for being Black, you can't be fired for being fat. However, it doesn't mean you can just run around being fat with no consequences. Here's why. Y'all, this is totally sarcasm. I hope that you can pick that up. It's totally sarcasm and exaggeration. Yes, we are moving away from that. I'm literally being facetious. Although I am serious that I do, like when a skinny person's like, oh, it's good. I'm like, a restaurant. I'm like, I don't want to go there. It's probably going to be vegan. No offense. I hate vegan. But what does happen is this. In the car context. So what happens is in the job, in the workplace, they cannot fire you for being big. They cannot refuse to hire you for being big. But what they can say is if you're big, we then have to make a reasonable accommodation. But if we can't, you can't sue us for that. Here, if I were the attorney for the driver of the vehicle, my argument would be my seatbelt won't be able to fit you. And Michigan law, although Michigan law does say we cannot discriminate against big people, it also says you got to wear your seatbelt. And not only does it say that, if she doesn't wear her seatbelt, guess who gets the ticket? It wouldn't be her, even though she's grown. It'd be the Uber driver. So Uber should have better trained its Michigan and Washington State workers to, instead of saying you can't get in because you're too big, what you can say is my concern is the seatbelt will not safely fit you, because you got 2 issues there. Number 1, legally, you must wear a seatbelt. Number 2, if the seatbelt does not safely fit that person and you take them on a ride and they get in an accident and it becomes the equivalent of them not wearing a seatbelt, that's your butt. You're on the line. I'm an injury attorney in Texas, Simone Redwine. You can go to SimoneRedwine.com to book a consultation with me. You can do that here. You can order my ebook, which is called Background Checks 101, a beginner's guide to discovering who the heck you're really dealing with. You can also click up here, book or hire Simone for a 30-minute consultation with me. I help people around the nation with their legal issues, from how to file in small claims court, how to collect on a judgment, how to track down assets for my baby daddy, or just I need a background check on someone. I help with all of the above. And let me tell you this, in doing so, there we go. In doing so, one of the challenges is that I know that in personal injury cases, if you're not wearing your seatbelt at the end of an accident, instead of you receiving 100% of what you're entitled to, a jury is entitled to hold you liable, or the driver who didn't make you put on a seatbelt, liable for a percentage. So let's say someone ran a red light and hit you and you are terribly injured, but you didn't have your seatbelt on. A jury could say, well, it's 20% your fault, because let's say the defense, which will be State Farm or whatever, will present an expert that says, yeah, this person is injured. However, if they had their seatbelt on, maybe they'd only be 20% injured instead of 100%. Or maybe they'd only be 50% injured, and your verdict gets reduced by that. That's one thing. The second thing is, Here, legally, there is a reasonable alternative accommodation in that they're saying based on your size, you need to get a different size vehicle. So it's not Uber saying, I won't service you. It's saying you need a service vehicle to accommodate. It would be no different than if someone rolled up in a vehicle that she paid for. You know, you pay for the lowest level. Most people pay for like the regular level of Uber. And then the person saying, oh, I'm super tall, I can't fit in the back seat. Then they say, okay, well, then you're going to need to call an Uber XL. Or if they said, oh, well, I have a wheelchair, and that person has like a little, what is that car that starts with the F? Oh God, look like you could pick them up, put them in your pocket. Look like little clown cars that starts with the F, not the Fiji. I forget the type. But if you have a little tiny car, this person has a wheelchair. The wheelchair riding person can't sue Uber and say, well, that car was too small, it couldn't fit my wheelchair, because Uber will say, well, no, we got another vehicle who can. Thank you. It's a Fiat. Yes. If she would, now, if a Fiat would have pulled up, I think she probably would have agreed. Yeah, that probably wouldn't be comfortable for her or them. But also, how that driver sat up there and said, you can't fit in the back, you're going to mess up my tires. Let me tell you something. If you see Janae Mills out of Duval County, well, I went to Cornell. Me and her went to Cornell together. And Janae Mills didn't tell me that same ish. Because Janae always drove like cars. She had like 32 rims on them and stuff. And then she used to have speakers in the back. Janae Mills. She owns a little daiquiri shack and stuff in Duval County. You tell her. I'm talking about her. And I remember I was like, hey, can you give me a ride? So we were going somewhere. She was like, you can't sit in the back. She had her speakers back there. And she was like, nah, you going to make my wheels ride too low, because she had 32. So I say that to say, at the time, I might have been 125 pounds. She was really serious. She didn't really like humans riding her back seat, because the tires really would go low. So I just say that. Hit that like button, y'all. Yes, the driver of that car said the tires were tired. But here's the thing. It's also a respect thing. If you're going to tell a rider that, you can do it in a nicer way. I just think this particular woman, it sounds like she orders all the Ubers all the time, has never had that experience, and her feelings were hurt. And that's understandable. But I would love to hear from her. What was it that made her say, no, I don't want to order a larger size Uber? And it seemed to be because it sounds like she said, I fit in a car like that before. And she just felt like, not today. Not today. I don't want to be mistreated. So I look forward to following this lawsuit, seeing what happens. But in the end, I think what makes it less than cut and dry is, although the law is clear that you cannot discriminate against big people when it comes to public accommodations, which would mean Uber, bus, anything like that, any public transportation, you cannot do that. I think because there is an alternative car available, which is a different type of Uber. Yes, it is a little bit more expensive, but that's not discrimination. In the same way that if you get on an airplane and you have to buy a second seat, it's not considered discrimination, because you have to buy two of the same thing. It's just a different price. I want to hear y'all sound off in the chat. What do you think would have been fair or reasonable? Even do you think in that car, he should have just gave her a ride? Yeah, he said his tires were tired. I think he was tired. It said, so if he had allowed her the ride and the vehicle was disabled somehow due to her weight, could he sue her for the repair costs? No. He let her in there. I mean, he could try. I'll say this. He could try, but he would never be able to collect. And that, I'm sure, was his first thought. If the seatbelt gets stuck, you got to get that. Not only do you have to get it cut off, then you've got to pay like $500 to get a new one put in and safety tested. She definitely didn't look 600 pounds. No, I think she was probably in the threes, would be my guess. Threes, maybe low 400s. It said, yeah, Uber XL is the accommodation. She videotaped her experience. She will get paid. I think she's going to get something. I don't think it won't be $1 million. I don't think it'll be $500,000. I think that what she has in her favor is that it's the state of Michigan and there is always a nuisance value for trial, meaning insurance companies calculate how much is it going to cost us to try this case. Let's say it's 30,000. They said, fine, let's give it to her instead of having to pay it for lawyers and risk it. The driver should sue Lyft. Nah. What happens is when she sues the driver, Lyft's insurance will kick in, so that driver doesn't have to do a thing. They don't even have to pay their deductible. Thank you so much, Terry. She's 489 pounds. Okay, ma'am. Thank you. All right. Ma'am, that's 4 people. That's 4 people, ma'am. That was a 4-person vehicle. Not even 4. Well, I guess 1, 2, 3 in the back and maybe 1 in the front. But here's the thing. You're going to be 4 people in the back. Lyft is at fault. What do you think Lyft should have done? Here's the thing. How does Lyft know you're 489? Perhaps Lyft in the future can have you put your weight in there. But I think that would be ugly. I don't think you should have to put your weight. I don't like that. I think that would be ugly. What should Lyft have done? Yeah, I do think her rap career would probably pop off with this. With commercial insurance, he would be covered if the rider impacted the car. But somebody will have to pay a deductible for that, and it won't be old girl. Oh, they fired the driver? Are you sure, Rajanti? I did say that. She fell on stage during one of her shows. Bless her heart. She's got, spatially, that's got to be a challenge. Her weight wasn't going to be spread out. No, it wasn't. It was all going to be on that back seat. Yeah, I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to enter my weight either. So I'm trying to figure out, I think the one thing I liked with the video is he said, I can't do it, call an XL. For me, that's reminiscent of when me and my girlfriends were going on a girls trip. We had all this luggage. The driver literally was like, all that can't fit in my car. And we were insistent. Yes, it can. We'll do this. We'll do that. And he said, I don't want that weight on my tires. What can you say to that? Because if we wear and tear his tires, there's nothing he can do about that. What? Be out of commission, be out of work for months while the two of us go back to back? Because we're like, no, it wasn't us. You had prior wear and tear. It's a tough scenario. It says, because the driver just have said, I'm sorry, I had to cancel the ride and not give her a reason. Absolutely. That's kind of like how it works with racism in America. If somebody doesn't want to hire you because they're black, they don't say, oh, I don't want to hire you, colored girl. They just say, oh, the position's been filled. So, yeah, they could. It doesn't make it right, though. If they violated the law, they've violated the law, and they're simply using pretext. But yes, it said, I heard that if you get into an accident while using Uber or Lyft, they won't cover you. No, that's not true. It depends on if you have a driver in a car. So what happens, because I sue Uber and Lyft all the time, I represent riders. What happens is if you are the Uber driver or Lyft driver and you have no person in your car and you get in an accident, your personal insurance is supposed to cover it because you don't have a fare. But if you have a fare in your car, and I believe too, if you're heading to a fare, like if you've accepted it and you're on your way there, in those 2 instances, that's when Uber or Lyft's insurance kicks in. So don't think that just because you got hit by an Uber, you're going to get paid. If you got hit by an empty Uber that is not on its way to pick anybody up, you going to get whatever they mom and pop State Farm Insurance has. It said the driver was fired. They should have gotten arbitration or stuck behind him. He was an independent contractor. Poor thing. I thought Uber Lyft drivers were independent contractors. They are. No, they can't refuse at any time. They have specific guidelines due to the fact that it's to prevent them from who's to say that they're going to cancel, run up the fare so that it creates a surge issue and then be like, all right, I'll take the same person. MD said, I've seen it happen at the airport. An Asian guy in his Tesla didn't want to take a couple that had so many bags. He just said, sorry, have to cancel and left. It sure does. It sure does. But I think the difference is this situation, and I bet you anything, that driver had no idea that declining someone who is obese would trigger a legal issue because they don't train you to know that. And again, like I said, there's only 2 states in America where that's the case, and that's Washington State and Michigan. Heather said, to rent a horse, you must advise if you're more than 250 pounds. Y'all are hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Let's see. All right, we're going to do one more. Oh, this case really pissed me off. Hold on. All right, we're going to go Hillman Talk, classes in session, boo. So Revolt TV says, let me make sure I got this up. There we go. So according to Revolt TV, it says one thing about Black folks, we're going to build a whole community out of anything. Thanks to TikToker Dr. Leah Barlow, the fictional HBCU from the iconic sitcom A Different World just got a digital revamp as Hillman Talk, the hashtag. What started as a simple class welcome turned into a full-blown viral campus now with 3.5 million views and over 400 courses covering anything from Spades 101, baby, yes, because I don't know how to play it, to gardening, Black fashion, and even accounting. The comment section, basically an HBCU student union at this point. I don't know about y'all, but I'm trying to get my credits up ASAP. Revolt fam, what classes would you take? Here's the problem. Hold on, we got a little issue. Don't you go anywhere. I need you to see something. We're going to do it together. So, here's the problem I have with good old Hillman Talk. I need you to hear me, and I need you to hear me well. I heard, and I hadn't had time to look into it. We're going to look into it together right now. I heard that a Caucasian lady has already filed to trademark Hillman Talk, and I got angry. This is our HBCU. You bet not. You bet not. So I'm about to do a quick little search, but I'm doing this while you guys are on because I want to show you how easy it is to search trademarks. Okay. Make sure you can see both of my screens. You go to uspto.com. Literally, you hit search trademarks. Let's see if someone has filed for 2. Jordan Danielle Realty and Giles Solutions and Accounting in Florida. Okay, we've got 2. Let's see which one came first. And yeah, I only see 2. Hillman Talk. Both of these are pending. Let's see which one was filed first. Hillman Talk University. I'm about to be pissed. Registers, supplemental mark, live action. Okay, January 26th for this one. Current owner information. Let's find out. Got Giles Solutions and Consulting in Winter Haven, Florida. Oh, let's see who Giles is. This is in Winter Haven, Florida. Bizopedia. Let's see if we can see who the owner is. Oh, Latasha Giles. I'm sorry. The way she spells it. Hold on. Look. Okay, I think she's Black. This is Latasha Giles, LOT. No, that's a Black lady. That's definitely a Black lady. Latasha Giles. Here, we're going to Google her. Latasha L. Giles. We're going to Google her. That's a Black lady. Anytime you spell Tasha with an O like that, that's a Black lady. I think we're going to be okay, guys. I think we're going to be okay. Oh, I think we got her. Oh, no, this was a Black lady. Okay, this is somebody in Houston. Okay, and that's not with an O. Hold on. Latasha Giles, Facebook people. Oh, wait. This might be her. She's on TikTok. Let's see if it's her. Let's see. Come on. No. This ain't it. All right. Y'all let me know. Let me see. Latasha Giles. Let's see if we find her on Facebook people. What are we doing this? This is Latasha Giles Valentine. Okay, this one. Both of these are Black ladies. Okay, I think we're cooking. I think we're going to be okay. But let's check the second one. And let's go back to the trademark website. And, no, get off this. Let's see the second one. All right, now this one, the other one was the 26th. This is the 28th. This is 2 days later. All right, this one is the 28th, Hillman Talk University, HBCU. Let me tell you, the one who filed first is going to get credit first. By adding HBCU, HBCU is descriptive. That's not going to be enough to clear if they give credit to the first one. But let's see current owner information. Let's see who it is. All right, it's Jordanella Realty. Jordanella, that sounds like a Black lady's name too. She's in Pasadena, California. Let's see. Jordanella Realty. Let's see who we got. If she Black, I'm okay with it. That's why I said we're going to find out together. We got, come on, give us a picture. It's not a secure connection. Girl, don't give me no virus though. Furnished residences. Jordana? Girl, what is with this website, girl? Show me some pictures. What do you look like? Anybody know what Jordana look like? That's not it. I need this Jordana Realty. What is this? Hold on. Why is it not coming up here? They're about to piss me off. Oh, wait. They got a YouTube. Come on, Jordana. Jordana, this is not real. You're not showing me nothing. Hold on. None of these sites are coming up. Hold on. We're going to do Jordana Realty. I don't think that's right. Hold on. How do you spell Jordana? Jordanella. Well, I would have never guessed that. Jordanella. I wonder if that's a last name. Hold on. We about to find out, y'all. We are going to find out. No results. Somebody tell me if this is a Black lady. That's all I want to know. Let me look at some of the pictures. Hold on. It's pictures of houses. No. All right. So I can't tell. Hold on. I'm going to come back to the chat so I can see your commentary. Amen at Renee. Okay. Let me see the comments. Don't they get write-ups of some kind for punishment for denying canceling too often? Yes. Y'all are talking about Ubers. Yes. All right. This is Culture Vulture, but why would she trademark it? Probably for the same reason that, remember in 2020, after George Floyd, the U.S. government decided Juneteenth would be a holiday. A Caucasian company is the one who trademarked Juneteenth, and a bunch of them. We all kicked and screamed and got so mad that they literally abandoned the trademark, but they, in fact, did file first. So this is what it is. Jordanella Realty. I can't tell. But whose last name is Jordanella? Like, yeah, I can't. Yeah, Jordanella. Can't tell what they look like. But I think it's my understanding that the Jordanella Realty person is a person who's also applying for the TikTok trademark. But basically what I want you to understand about trademark law is she was second to file, so it is unlikely. Miss Latasha Giles is far more likely to win because she came first. So there is that. We got the TikTok. And then one more story for the night. This one pissed me off too. This one pissed me off because I think it's inaccurate. Yeah. All right. So this one, it says, oh, here we go. U.S.-based Nigerian cardiologist Dr. Akina Irene dies by unaliving after a $15,000 a month child support ruling. It says Dr. Irene, a 36-year-old Nigerian cardiologist based in the U.S., died by unaliving on January 26th after losing a child support case to his ex-wife. A U.S. court ruled he must pay nearly $15,000 a month in support, which, combined with legal fees and losing his medical license, took a severe financial and emotional toll on him. Nigerian American Clayton Udo, commenting on the case, highlighted systemic issues affecting African American men in U.S. family courts. Irene, originally from Embry Estate, which is in Africa, left behind his two children, not one, two children, parents, and siblings. What do we think in the chat? Are we sad for him? What are we thinking? Here's what pissed me off. How you going to say all that and then just throw in there, oh, he was upset about the child support ruling, oh, and losing his license. Lead with that. Lead with that. Maybe if he hadn't lost his license, he could pay some child support. Absolutely. Kay Renee said this is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. What you're not going to do is point to one case like this where someone do you know how hard, first of all, do you know how hard it is to lose your medical license? It's hard. There are people who have left scissors in people's bellies, but not lost their license. It's hard. So there must have been a plethora of things going on. Secondly, this is not one child at $15K a month. It is two. Now, one thing that I did very briefly do, get this, is I did a quick little Google search. Where did it go? Maybe I lost it. Here we go. This pisses me off. Totally pissing me off. I had done a little search on, that's what it was. It was the salaries for cardiologists. Here we go. Salaries for cardiologists. $507,000 a year. So for two children, I know it's small. Let me make it big real quick. Salary for cardiologists, $570,000 a year on average. Now, if he's in California, it's even more. It's closer to $700,000 or $800,000. But all right, and we've got two kids. Now we're going to do the calculation. Two kids is generally 25% of your income. Because remember, this money has to be used for a plethora of things. Child support is based on the income of the parent, not what some deadbeat man or woman, it could be either, not what some average Joe decides a child needs. Because guess what? Millionaires, billionaires, do you think Mark Zuckerberg is sending his kids to your underfunded public school? No, because the more money you earn, the more money you spend on your child as a percentage basis, period, on a numerical basis. So let's just do 507,000. Let's say that's what you make divided by 12 is $42,000 per month. So in other words, if we take out 15,000, because remember the 15 has to cover tuition, daycare, but also health insurance. You still have $25,000.50 per month. Most dual income households I know don't have this much per month. They don't have this per month. So shut it up. He was a cardiologist. Again, after child support, he's still taking home $27,250. Oh, I don't know who that is. There we go. Sorry, that was my psychic. It said he could afford $40,000 a month. It sounds like, yeah, he was getting, just on average, he was earning about $42,000 a month. Even if the child support was 15, yeah, he must have been rolling in the dough. Exactly. You don't first be like, oh, you don't get, the only time you get like a 50% child support ruling is when you have like 10, 12 kids. All right. But what it does say, oh, thank you, Yvette Barnes. It says a Nigerian newspaper says he held his wife and kids hostage and then offed himself because he didn't want to face criminal charges from holding them hostage. That's believable. That's real believable. It's also believable that that would be a component of what conveniently was not also shared with the Nigerian media, because they love to make men look like victims and the women to look like the problem. Let's see. He must have had the judgment first and then lost his license in an unrelated thing. Yeah, it was totally unrelated. But we don't know which one came first. Well, you're right. It had to have been in that order Because if you have lost your license, generally you're not going to get an order for that because you're no longer making that. Your child support order will be based on your present income, number one. And if your income ever changes drastically for something like, losing your law license, losing your medical license, you can have an emergency hearing to get it adjusted. Whereas generally the law is, it's got to be every 2 years or however many years. No. In the case of you losing employment like that, you can go right on back up in there. Somebody say, was he dusty? You lose a license over child support, but that is not why he lost his. Actually, I put his name into a search before I did this story. He had a license, an active license. So maybe there's a different state than the one that I searched in where he lost his license. But let me just put this story back up because I just want y'all to see that sometimes the headline, you got to read through the headline is the point. You got to read through that headline because sometimes it just be full of it. Taking your family hostage is unhinged. Yeah, if you take your family hostage, you're going to lose your license, buddy. You're supposed to save lives, not threaten to take them. Whoop. Too cheap than too sick. Wait, Destiny said the psychic didn't see you. I'm like, okay, Destiny, that was hilarious. That really was. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. This is that legal with your girl, legal bestie, attorney Simone. Hit that like. Please share this on Facebook or otherwise. I'd love to get those views right on back up. Have a great evening. Bye, y'all.